so many things to discuss. I wrote so many notes down.
Oh, me too. And pages.
Oh, it did get today's, at least today, it got a little bit slow in the middle when they had the budget rental guy and the 911
Oh,
call, and
right.
it's all the stuff that we've heard and we already know, so yeah. But it was in
Right.
okay, we'll get there though. I won't. I love just to
Well,
like
no, but they come in and they're like, yes, she rented a budget rental car. Yes, she rented something from Avis. Yes, we took some DNA. Yes, we did a
yes.
celebrate. But they're
Yeah,
not saying what the results were.
I
It's
know.
like, really?
I know. And so then by time you get to that expert, you feel like you've already heard it. Like you already know
Right.
what's coming. So, yeah,
Hmm.
that was a little whatever. But the brother,
Oh my goodness.
he
He
was a
started out with,
mess.
why, Letitia? And oh
Mhm.
my goodness. And he saw the, okay, so here's my thing. I've been thinking about this all morning. So she had him in the suitcase in that van, in that budget van, right?
Yeah.
Think about when you travel, right? You get in a van, you got your people with you, you're traveling across the country, right? You have to
Yep.
stop at gas stations, you have to stop at McDonald's, people
Yep.
have to pee. That's how
Yep.
it works, right? And
Right.
she saw him in the back of that van.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
how does how did he not how
How
did they
did
not
he
how did they
that's
not
what
smell him? I mean, I'm just gonna say it. How did they not smell him? How did they not know?
yeah, I think it was just Harley in the car because
In
they
the front of the
separated.
budget, you think it was just her and Harley?
Because the brother, the aunt, and the mom flew back the next day because they originally came out there because they wanted to search.
Yeah,
But once they got there and they're the America's most hated people on earth, they're
right,
like, well, maybe I don't want to go search with a bunch of people that hate me. So
right.
they ended up, so yeah, he flew in with his mom and his aunt. They rented a car, they went to the hotel room, and then, they rent a van, go get Letitia's stuff from the house.
And the police were there and they looked at every bag that came out.
Yes,
And that's
yes,
important because that means he was not in the house. They looked at every
right,
bag they took out.
right, right. So then they go back to the hotel. Letitia takes the car. It says she's going to get dog food, and then
Dog food.
doesn't come back for a couple of hours. The brother's like, I didn't know where she went. I don't know how long she was gone, but I remember telling my wife she's been gone for an awfully long time, a very suspiciously long time.
Yeah.
So that's when she went and got him, is what I think.
Yeah. I think so too. It had to be because when else could she get him? They went and got all their stuff. The police looked at all the stuff, and I do not believe that she went in and struggled and carried this big hefty suitcase right past the police. I don't believe that. So she had to go get him while all of her people are in that hotel room.
Oh, I
You
know.
know, her whole family. She says, "I'm going to go get dog food," and she goes to get Gannon.
Yeah, that's my theory, anyways. They'll probably prove it because I believe they had a tracker on that car already, so they'll know where she went. They said they went to the area where they think he was, and if he this is going to sound terrible, but if he was frozen, if she took Harley to Texas, dropped her off in Texas because that was her first route based on that god awfully painful long uh line 16
Description,
at
yeah,
description. It says 12 o'clock, but what time really is it? Oh, the time zones are confused. I'm like,
yeah,
oh my God, can we please just move this
right,
forward? That was painful. But based on
exactly.
that, she went to Texas. So I'm assuming that if Gannon was in the back, if he was frozen, then he would have, been defrosting. God, that sounds so bad. I don't know how to say it any
Well,
better,
but
but it wouldn't be any
no,
smell.
I
And
get
then
it.
she gets out of the car
Sure,
and then she goes on to Florida.
but how did she freeze him?
I think it was
Because
outside.
we're back at the beginning. Well, it's January. okay, January, Denver, that area, it's cold, right? Okay, so maybe you're right. Maybe the body was cold. Okay, I'll take that one. Maybe the body was cold. She put him in the suitcase. He was cold. Um, all right, so she takes her to Texas, drops her off, and you think she went to Florida alone with the body?
I think so,
It's
but I
possible.
yeah, I
We're not
don't
gonna know until Harley gets on the stand. But
I know.
the way they're doing this, bringing one person and another, I don't understand why they don't just put a map up and say, okay, she drove the Altima from here to here. We had a tracker on it. She
Yep,
drove the
yep.
Kia from here to here. We had a tracker on it. She drove the budget from here to here, and the budget tracks everything. So don't think you can ever rent a budget ever again
I
because
know,
budget
seriously,
tracks
you get away
everything
with a
you
crime.
do. The jig is up. A budget knows what you're doing.
Oh my
So
god.
don't ever use a budget to do anything illegal.
No.
So I don't know why they don't just put a map up like that. Instead, they're bringing all these people in. But I felt so bad for the brother because he made it very clear that their entire family, now and Lumberton where they live is very tiny. It's very close to me. Very
Yeah,
tiny, very very small town,
you
and
said that, right. It
this
hits
whole
home when it's
family.
close to home.
Right, well, and also it's a very small town, and now those people, they get blamed. It's not their fault, but that family's
Mhm,
going to get blamed.
mhm, mhm,
They're going to be hated for what
mhm,
she did.
mhm.
But yesterday, we forgot to talk about yesterday. You remember yesterday the medical examiner, and you brought up the hydrocodone. What were you saying about that?
So, so Al cut off the tip of his finger, doing his woodworking, and so he was prescribed hydrocodone for that, and then some ibuprofen, but he just chose to take the ibuprofen. He says he's not much of a pill guy, so it just sat in the nightstand of their bedroom, of him and
Gotcha.
Letitia's bedroom. So the kids didn't know it was there. It was just there. And so the medical examiner is saying that he had that in his liver. I- I'm assuming that she gave it to him for pain relief after the burns,
After the burn, sure. Yeah.
or or who knows. In this case, I have how everything happened. I'm still not clear on what events took place. Even from her videos, I just cannot map it out in my head of how it
Well, no,
works.
because the death was so brutal. There
I know,
was the
yeah.
stabbing, all of it. It's so much overkill. We talked about this before. The stabbing, the strangulation, and now the drugging and the shooting. It's almost what a wife does to a husband when she really wants to make sure he's dead.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
it's a way overkill for a 12-year-old. Did she
but
stab him and then decide and then he wasn't dead, so then she went in to shoot? I don't know. But that poor brother saw that suitcase. Oh, no, we're talking about yesterday, sorry.
yesterday, yeah. So
Yeah, yeah, sorry. Yeah,
and
so the
yesterday morning the Emmy was on and she was talking. She did the autopsy, and I don't know if you watched Channel 9, but we were talking about Long Crime did not show the screen. They had a different angle, but I happened to be watching 9 News. I just had it on,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
they were showing it the whole. I've never seen a trial where they actually show the screen, and they were showing the autopsy, and she was just going through the whole thing, and it was just brutal. But she said all of that, and my question was, how did he get burned on the tops of his arms in exactly the same place accidentally? How do you do that?
Yeah.
I mean,
And the place that it was is at a corner of a couch. It wasn't even a table. Like,
right.
was he playing with it? Maybe?
Did you see the candle? It's a
I
normal candle.
Yeah, it
It's
was
like what you
outside.
set on your
Yeah.
table. It's got like 3 different layers, 3 different scents. I used to have one like blueberry, mulberry, whatever. Three
Okay.
different scents.
Yep.
It's not a trick candle.
Right,
I
right.
still don't understand how it burned so much of the carpet that it was a panic, and we have to,
Yeah. It, like, caught on fire, and she used a blanket, and then and was trying to swish it, and made it bigger, and then it finally put it out. She smothered it. But,
Are we thinking that? I mean, are we wrong? Does the candle have nothing to do with his death? Or is the candle like the beginning? Like, I
I
just don't know.
always yeah, I always presumed it was the beginning because we see the video of him alive after that. So my
Because what?
assumption we see the video of him alive talking about the candle, and he's worried about his burns.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I'm
And
think
maybe
I'm
she didn't want anybody to see the burns.
true, true.
You know,
She
we've seen children killed before because one parent wanted to cover up, something they did. They didn't want the other parent to see it.
right.
You
What
know,
I
I
absolutely. And what I found interesting, though, is that the brother said that Letitia has everybody made fun of her because they said she has OCD, that she's a very clean person. So that candle dumping over and making
yeah,
a mess on the carpet would have been, to
a
me and
big
you,
deal.
who
Nothing.
cares? But her whole world is like, our house is dirty now.
Exactly. How do you put that back together? You've got this, and you think about that. Actually, when you do burn or you mess up your carpet, it's a big deal. You have to go find a cleaner or you have to go replace it. It is a big deal. But, and think about that in her OCD head, maybe it was bigger than we think it is. You know, maybe it was the precipice and it started this.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
don't know, but so I think yesterday's breakout star was the reporter. And
Oh,
I don't know if you saw this or not.
I
Did you
did.
see? She smiled and laughed at him. Does she not realize that she is on trial for murder?
It
Like, the
it's
jury's gonna see that. Yeah, he deserved a smile and a laugh because he was good on
he
the stand.
he was. I He was amazing, and he almost kind of well, he's kind of a performer by nature with his job,
By
but
trade, sure.
yeah, but, he just really seemed like a non-supporter, and it was very apparent. He was not holding it in by any stretch of the imagination,
I,
and
I
that's how
don't think
I got
I don't think I've ever seen a trial where they bring in, a news report. They usually keep that out. You're not allowed to see that. And here they are bringing it in, and they point out that A, she pretended to cry, and then B, that she was talking about him in the past tense. And they
oh,
brought it up
yeah,
and they talked about it, and I was like,
mhm.
that was brilliant.
That was that what really sealed the deal for me, though, is the ending where she's like, hold on, let's redo that," and then she mustered up some
Exactly.
tears and then said, "Let's do
Right.
it
And he's
again,"
like, it's
and then immediately stopped crying afterwards.
yeah, he said it took a minute to start crying or to get emotional. Yeah.
Oh, 'cause and what was great is they had a visual of it, so now
Oh,
our
sure.
we're not just taking his word, his
No.
impression, but we can
Mm-mm.
actually see it, so, I don't know, that was great. I was like, "Wow, you
I
go,
remember
boy."
seeing that video too, and I remember listening to her cry and thinking, was that real or not? And now we know. She asked, "Wait, can I do one where I cry?" Oh my goodness.
Exactly. Hold on, it's in there somewhere."
Yeah, I know I can
Oh,
reach for it. Well, and I always thought, he says, what would you say to Gannon? And she say, come home and like tell everyone that I'm a good person. Not come home because I love you.
so
Come
everybody
home and
can
tell everybody I'm good.
they all owe me an apology.
And then I knew that. Did you see the fake polygraph.com got brought in there? I said,
Yep.
they brought the guy in to listen to her calls. I thought they'd bring the people in from that company, but it was even better. We got to listen to her calls.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I bet you they're, like, in India or something, that he had a very, strong accent, so I'm assuming that they're not gonna
yeah,
do the expenses
no,
to fly him in
yeah,
or yeah, yeah. But they do have everything on audio, so they don't really need to do that expense, which is just icing on the cake. I just love it. She's like, "I read the terms."
agreement.
Yeah, I read the agreement terms, and it says that I can put infidelity in there. That's what I'm talking about, not
Yes.
hurting your son,
Yeah,
which
he's like, you didn't put any infidelity in here.
right, yeah.
I was waiting for them to read the questions back. Ma'am, these are the questions you asked, but or for the jury to ask what were the questions.
Yeah,
If I'd
because
been on the jury, I would have said, "Hey, what were her questions?"
right.
I don't
Yeah,
know if they would have allowed it, but I would have asked.
right, right.
I don't know.
I have a list in my video before. I wonder if I could pull up my script, but I don't know
Oh,
where
sure.
this list came from. I don't know where the sources are. It would take me a minute to verify them. But anyways, I had a list of her questions for
Oh,
the
I have them.
polygraph. Oh, you
I
do?
have 'em. Yeah, from your video. Do you want them? So she said, "Do you intend to answer these questions regarding your stepson truthfully?" Yes. Is your birthday August 4th, 1983? Yes. Did you participate in any way in harming your stepson? No. Did your stepson return with you into your home? Yes. Which when? Did you participate in any way in causing the death of your stepson? No. Those were her questions. That's what you had on
So
your video. Yeah.
she got infidelity out of
Out of
those
that, where was the infidelity? There's nothing.
infidelity with his son. Come on, this isn't adding up.
Exactly.
So maybe those aren't the questions. Maybe. I don't know. They never did say. So
Maybe not.
they might they might have a computer forensic person come up because they have just so many of these experts coming up
Right?
through. So I bet you we'll get
I'm
something
just
like
ready
that.
for the results. They keep coming and saying, "Oh, we took DNA here." Well, and the
Hmm.
most recent, I don't know if you were watching today, but oh my goodness, I was listening to the guy who went through with the Blue Star when they sprayed the Blue Star in the house. Oh, there were so many hits. Like that was the last thing I was watching today. The the detective and he filmed all the Blue Star. It was on the stairs. It was there were pattern drops like size of a quarter all the way down the stairs into the basement. It showed a lot of cleaning, bottom of the stairs, where the candle was, and it was presumptive for blood there. And then a
Hmm.
bunch presumptive for blood in his room, the storage area, all the way out to the edge of the storage. Like it just kept showing, and he was actually
Hmm.
showing a video of it. It was blue everywhere.
I know,
Like,
and
oh my
especially that
god,
storage room. Oh,
yeah,
well, definitely his room with all those splatters. I
yes,
I really liked that body cam because it kind of gave you a glimpse into Gannon's life, how he lived, and his and Letitia's too, getting into her mind of um I don't know, just where they lived, how everything laid out, how you can kind of get
yeah,
an impression of how maybe things happened, especially
sure,
where that candle was, where they took that front piece out of the couch and
yeah.
then the side carpet. I'm like, where was there a candle right there? On the couch, on a
How does
fuzzy,
the candle get on
foamy
a couch?
couch? I
Yeah, I
that's
don't know.
I don't maybe he was I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but maybe it'll make sense
No.
later. But I seen a
The
couple
last thing I saw, they had she was offered a forensic exam after.
Mhm.
Seen what?
Yeah. Oh, I seen a couple comments about the brother that they felt sorry for him, and,
Oh yeah,
it might be a couple people that are starting a little bit later, so let's see if I can answer a couple of these.
sure, sure.
It really upsets me. I think he hurt him so bad. ER doc CPS called. Okay, where did I see it?
Donna
Uh,
Donna asked, "Did the mom testify yet?" Donna, do you mean Letitia? I don't know that she's going to testify. Her mom did not. I don't think she's going to. Her brother did. I don't think the aunt's going to either. I think as far as her family, we're getting her brother and then we're getting her daughter, and that's it. I don't think we're going to get Lena either. She's just too young.
yeah, she's a baby, but she is a good witness.
Oh,
She
yeah.
could probably she was the only one there. She could
All the time, right?
Yeah, she could put the pieces together for the candle. Wasn't there in one of the pictures, Gannon was in her room,
Yeah.
sleeping in her bed because she
Yeah.
slept with Letitia?
Well, they were
So,
so close.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. That'll be interesting if that does happen, if she
There
does
it is.
testify.
Bernice said, I think she hurt him so bad and need ER or doc, and she couldn't take him because CPS would be called. So she had in her sick mind to make a plan. I agree. I absolutely agree. That's what we are talking about, Miss Bernice. We are afraid that the same thing, that, she hurt him, and then, like we've seen before, she felt like she couldn't take him to the ER because CPS would take him. And it's a ridiculous conundrum that you would go even further, and end his life as opposed to having him taken away. But yeah, how many times have you seen it, Kim? You know,
Gosh, too
too
many,
many. Yeah.
too many. And it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And
Mm,
yeah, probably even in their mind later, they're like, what was it really worth it? Does this make any sense at all?
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, Sharon, the brother, the first words out of his mouth, why Letitia, and him just, he's like
Yeah.
to his core, like he's just crushed by this. Ooh.
Yeah.
But it
And
was
yeah, and
interesting. Go ahead.
oh no, go ahead, go ahead.
It's interesting to hear how Letitia grew up, or
Yeah.
at least, well, yeah, her mom was being abused. The brother did confirm that there was
Yeah, and I
abuse and
believe,
alcohol use.
when her lawyer got up and talked about her leaving at 16, it is
Hmm.
possible that,
Yeah,
right.
but that
It's
doesn't
possible
equal.
what
But
she
yeah,
said about her father is true. We've seen that a lot. That doesn't justify what she did.
no,
I mean, a lot of people went through, have been hurt by their fathers. That doesn't mean that they grew up and hurt people. I bet you've got a lot of viewers in here that were hurt by family members. That doesn't mean they're going to hurt people. They
right,
can be great people.
right, right.
I don't like that she's using that as a defense.
Yeah, and I'm wondering how they're going to tie that
I don't know.
together because in our minds, that just
Yeah, I felt
doesn't.
really bad for her brother. And
Yeah.
they had to take the jury out right away. I said, "Oh my goodness, what is happening?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He just couldn't get it together,
He
and
did not
so
want to be there.
he did not want to be there. He even said, "I don't want to be here." And they made me want to be here. But he's seen, she goes and picks him up, comes back,
Yeah.
has the suitcase. He
When he
see,
was talking about that suitcase, remember he said,
oh no, I couldn't hear you. Oh, you cut out. Yeah, when he was talking about the suitcase and he said, he said, can I help you with that suitcase? Because he's seen that she was struggling with it. And she's like, no, I got it. No, he didn't want, she didn't want her brother's help with this heavy suitcase that he could see she was struggling with. And so he's like, well, that's weird. What's in there? And she's like, oh, it's just softball equipment. And so he knew, he's like, from then I knew something was off. It did not feel right at all. So he's seen the suitcase. She loads it in the van, grabs her daughter, and drives out of town. Oh, it's so eerie. It's so eerie for the brother, especially how sensitive he is, that he was there. Are you back?
I am sorry about that. You
That's
were
okay.
talking about the brother being with the suitcase. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, oh goodness. And he knew. Now he knows he was right there with the suitcase. So they come looking for Gannon, and then he finds out he was with him the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh goodness. Yeah, is that what you're saying while I was gone?
Yes, yes, that
Yeah.
he was asking, "Can I help you with that?" And she's like, "No, no, I got it." And he's like,
Yeah.
"It felt a little off." He's like,
Uh,
She felt totally off while he was there." And so then when she pled guilty by reason of insanity, when it was actually I was the defense actually brought more question or more answers, like more incriminating by saying, you know, uh, you're having your brother testify. Oh, gosh, I don't know how to explain it, but he said
Asking,
when Letitia moved out at 16, he was only like 7 or something like that, and when his dad died, he was 7 or
yeah, he was
yeah, he
7.
was
Yeah,
7, and Letitia was already moved out of the house because 'cause they're 14 years apart,
yeah,
so there's no
yeah.
gap in them, so he's not really a good witness
Mm-mm.
know what went on in the house. So, and then he also asked the question, What did you think when Letitia pled guilty by reason of insanity?" And he said, "Well, I believed it before, but I don't believe it now."
Mm-hmm.
So
Kind
then
of like he thought, kind of like he thought she had to be crazy to do it, but now he knows
Mhm.
she's not. Kind of what all of us said. You have to be off your rocker to kill a child like that, right?
Oh
But
my
that still
gosh.
doesn't make you crazy. You still know right from wrong, but there
Right.
has to be something wrong with you.
Oh gosh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, she had a really crappy childhood. It makes sense. I mean, no, it doesn't make sense. She had a really crappy childhood. That's one thing, but that
It
doesn't equal killing somebody. And
doesn't
when she does,
excuse it.
yeah, and when she does kill somebody, it doesn't automatically mean that it's insanity. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Exactly. It can lead to, and you can see how her history can make her into something, but that does not mean she gets away with it. She doesn't get a pass.
Right.
You know,
Right.
she doesn't
Right.
get to say, "Oh, someone hurt me, so I get to hurt a child." It doesn't work that way. We have rules in our world. You're good to children. They
Right.
need you.
Right.
And she
Right.
even sat there and said, "Oh, I loved him. He was a good child. When I asked for help, he would always." He sounded like the kind of kid that, like, if you said, "Hey, Gannon, would you get me a drink?" He would just go do it. He wouldn't go,
Hmm.
"Ugh, I don't wanna." You know what I
Get it
mean?
yourself.
Exactly. He didn't sound like that kind of kid. So,
Hmm.
yeah, no, you don't get a pass. Nope.
How old is Letitia? 30, 37 when it happened? She's like 39 now, maybe?
Yeah, yeah,
40?
I think so. Well, I have that. Hang on. I have her birthday. Remember, she put it in that. she, she put it in that fake
Fake polygraph thing?
that fake polygraph. She was born in '83.
All right.
There you go. She gave it to us.
Yeah,
Oh,
she still sits over on the side and just
yeah.
is emotionless. That even with her brother, I didn't see a tear from her. She is one
No.
cold woman. I would have been
Well, what
beside
does it
myself.
say? What does it say that the only thing that got her anything out of her was the reporter?
And that
You
was
know,
a
she
smile,
right.
right?
She laughed, and they're showing autopsy photos. If we can see them, I know what she's looking at.
Mhm.
It didn't affect her. Yeah.
Yep, she
Yeah.
makes the
There's
same
something
face
loose
the whole time.
upstairs, but you still get to go to big girl prison. Sorry.
Exactly. Not sit in some mental
Well, and a lot
hospital
of
for.
people think that a mental hospital is a better choice, but from what I've seen, it's not. So either way, it is a shame that they don't have the death penalty. But that's another story. Anyway,
Yeah. Yep.
so
Yep. All right. So then we had today we started with the brother and then we went into the rental car thing with the rented a car, didn't rent a car, where'd you go? And she was caught on camera and she turned in her vehicle in the short term parking lot instead of bringing it back to the rental place. She
yeah, her
just
lawyers
hands
did
the.
not like that.
Makes no sense. Okay.
Yeah,
but hands him the keys, so she has to go over there.
yeah,
Yeah,
puts
I
in the
don't
wrong
know.
place, but hands him the keys. Well,
Yep.
it's like the other day when the other guy testified and he was talking about how he went to get her phone and her car and she was running backwards and tossed the keys. Sometimes she's a 5-year-old. I don't know.
I don't
I
understand
don't
that
know.
either. I don't know where she thought she was gonna go.
I don't know.
Yelling
Um
back to Harley, "Don't say anything!"
exactly. And yesterday they showed where she called into the evidence processing and pretended to be Harley. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did hear that. I'm a
Yeah.
flight attendant, but I'm in high
But
school. Like, which one is it?
then you heard the technician was like, "That was weird. Her daughter's young and she's a flight attendant. What?"
Mhm, mhm.
And I guess we were wrong because she said all her people live on the East Coast, and technically her people live in North Carolina. Does she consider that the East Coast? Maybe. So there you go. I guess she
Okay,
wasn't lying on that one, but
okay.
all the rest, yeah, she we'll give her one, I guess.
Uh, One
You
truth,
questioned that
a
one, but we will
million
give her
lies.
one, I suppose.
That's probably the only truth that woman has told.
Probably the only thing she's getting.
Alright, so then what does she do? The next guy talks about the tracker on the car, which is pretty cool that they do that. That guy
The
was
guy who, oh yeah, the guy who crawled under the car and put the tracker there.
yeah, and he's like, I got the short straw."
And he was the lead of the intelligence unit.
Oh my
He's like, I
god.
parked the car in front and put the hood up. I pretended it was broke down, crawled under the car. Like he was all, could you just imagine? He's under this car trying to put the tracker under there, trying to get seen. And he said, I'm a big guy, and it has like the car is really low to the ground. Yeah. Oh, goodness. But
Harley's
it did help because then they watched that car go to County 105. They did see that. So,
huh.
it's a
Somebody
shame they were following her and they have these trackers on her. How is it that they didn't catch her before she got to Florida with him?
Yeah. Well, she went out to that area, so they started searching that area. Is that when they found the board? Could it be? They haven't said that yet, but
That particle board, yeah, they
yeah.
haven't talked about it yet, but that is supposed to be where they found it.
Okay. Okay.
Somebody is saying that Harley is talking about being pregnant on TikTok.
I know, I asked if they could send over the link.
Uh, yeah, I
I
don't
would like I
know.
would like to see that video. Not that it
Yeah.
matters necessarily.
No,
She
no,
can do whatever she wants to. She's what,
sure.
19 or whatever? Yeah.
But she's just gonna have a tough. I mean, she's connected to her mom whether she wants to be.
Mhm.
It's just gonna
Mm,
be tough for her, especially with
yeah.
social media. Everyone knows who she is. Her name is
Mhm.
coming up constantly in trial, and not just
Mhm.
her name, everybody's name. This morning the
Mhm.
lawyer was asking the brother, "What's your niece's name? I'm like, whoa, you're just throwing out all those names there.
That's a
Anybody
lot.
writing those
Yeah.
down could go, yeah. It's a lot of
Mhm.
exposure for that family.
Mhm. Yeah.
Lumberton's a tiny little town. I can imagine when they go back home, there's going to be, yeah, people aren't going to be very happy to see them. I hate that for them. Really do.
Me too. Me too. Especially because they seem like generally good people. I don't know. He
It
seemed like
did.
he had a big heart.
Yeah.
He, I my mom took care of us, protected us, and
And he said
that
he hadn't seen her since 2020. So all this time that she has been accused of murder, her family has not been backing her. He has not seen
mm-mm,
her. I
mm-mm.
think that's why he broke down there right at the beginning. And he's like, why, Tisha?
That was
Because,
his only opportunity. Yeah.
right, exactly. It's not like he could just walk up to her and say, hey, what the hell, what the heck did you do? Yeah, that was, oh, goodness. You think those things are going to happen, but they just never do. Okay, I'm going to forward you this. I got that, the Harley Hunt text. Hang on a second. If I can do it. There we go. Mm,
It's for you.
goodness, it's just crazy over here. Text and there's a text and there's a phone call. And okay, I sent you the text.
All right, let's see here.
It's the
Uh,
link to the TikTok. It came from Miss Elise in here. Thank you, Elise. I appreciate that.
is there any way you can copy and paste it into the chat by chance, or is it not
Let me
easy to
see.
do that?
Well, it's hang on a
I
second.
can I can individually type the letters, but there is a lot of letters here. Let's see here. TikTok.com blank t slash go back up and CTR 3HYTJW.
Hmm.
And that did not work.
No. Okay, hang on a second.
Let me just pull it up on my phone. Let's see.
Okay.
Watch and follow.
Give me one second.
Oh. Oh, yeah, she's got proof.
Get it? Yep. Yep.
Girl. Well, hey, whatever gets you through. Yeah, I guess it's neither here nor there. It's sad that she has to go through this with her mom while she's pregnant. That can't be easy. You know, I don't know how much she's involved. So I want to think that she doesn't have a lot of involvement. What are your guys' thoughts on that? I um I just don't really think that she knew, and I think that when she left South Carolina with the van with Gannon there in the van, that that she dropped Harley off in Texas. But I guess we'll find out more. I could be completely wrong.
Jesus. Okay, I'm sorry. What did you say? I saw it. It looks real, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it looks real. I was just saying that it's
Mm,
sad that she has to go through all that while with her mom. Depending on her involvement, I mean, I don't think she had a lot of say
yep.
in what was going on and or control or was trying to like help her mom necessarily, but she was homeless. She had nobody but her mom.
Yep.
What else choice
What's
does
she
she
gonna
have?
do?
Live on out of her car? Like I don't even think
Yep.
she had a car. They took her car too. So yeah, she and see, when did y'all start? We started at 4 o'clock or 4 o'clock mountain time. So depends on what time zone you are. Hold on. We started at 5 o'clock mountain, 4 o'clock my time. I sound like that testimony.
You sound like the testimony. It's 4 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock Mountain Time, Eastern Time, Central Time. I don't know.
I don't know. The only important thing is they should just do a diagram, a map of her going South Carolina, Texas
Exactly.
to
And
Florida.
oh, that's what I forgot to tell you. And today we get Rhode Island. Did you see Rhode Island? This is just crazy. Okay, so the
Another
budget
one?
truck. Yes. All right. So you know that her aunt had rented the truck, right? They went to the
Yeah.
house, they put the stuff in it. Then they go to the hotel. The family stays there. She goes and gets Gannon. She comes back. They and her aunt says, no, you can't take this truck to South Carolina and Texas and all over the world.
Right,
So
right, right,
her and her brother go take that truck. They go to budget. They move all the
right.
stuff from that truck to the budget truck. Okay. So then She takes the budget truck, and we're assuming she goes to Texas, she goes to South Carolina. The truck ended up in Rhode Island. We don't know how, but today there was an investigator on there just like an hour ago. He was from Rhode Island, and he doesn't work in law enforcement anymore. He's retired, but
Yeah.
he was with Rhode Island State Police, and he did the analysis of the budget truck. He did the blue star all over it, and it
Yep.
did light up. It lit up for blood. Um,
Yep.
it's presumptive positive for blood. So the freaking truck ended up in Rhode Island. What was she doing? Like, she was driving all over this country with the little
Oh, it
boy
was
in the
another.
back.
Another renter. Yeah.
Do you know what
Because
I'm saying? Like,
I thought she went back to Texas.
well, somehow the truck ended up in Rhode Island, and the defense asked, "Do you know how the truck got in Rhode Island?" And the guy said, "No." They were asked to analyze the truck in Rhode Island, but yes, it
Okay.
ended up in Rhode Island. So yeah, she took the truck to Texas. She took the truck to South Carolina. Would you, if you were trying to hide an evil deed, definitely a criminal deed, would you drive it all over the country? I don't think I would. I'm just saying. I'm just
She's a.
over here shaking my head every time they add another state.
It's like these little breadcrumbs
Yes.
everywhere any where she breathes, she leaves breadcrumbs. I mean, just going in for that exam with the nurse. I think that's how
Oh,
the thing ended today, but even that
right.
was just a shit show. Like everything that she does, it just complicates and makes her look bad. She does it
Right.
to herself.
She started the exam, and then the nurse is like, "I can help you. If
Right.
you were assaulted, I'd be happy to examine you. I can give you medications. If you're injured, I can help you." And she's like, "Nope, thanks, I'm going." Really? You just gave her this detailed, description of how you're injured. Then all of a sudden
Right.
you're going?
Right.
you know?
Right. Right.
So that is the last thing I saw actually was, and the forensic nurse seemed very she seemed like she knew what she was doing. She said she had done like 600 exams, which that's I wouldn't want that job.
Oh my
I just
gosh.
I would not want her job. Doing trauma exams. No,
It,
no, I would not want that job. You
as
know,
exhausting as it is for me, when it's too much, I can just back away. If I'm
right,
a case really gets to me or, something, I can kind of back away because I'm not
yep,
clocking in from 8 to 5 or whatever her schedule is.
exactly,
But
right,
she needs to do this day after day with these poor women, children, oh, coming in and just telling her everything. She's
right.
Oh my
She just has
gosh,
to
n
take
oh,
all that
thank
on,
you.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
no, thank you. I'd rather do the blood thing. I'd rather do the blue star than her job.
And I mean, I'm sure she compartmentalizes this, but day after day after day, trauma after trauma after trauma, that just can't be fun. I mean,
No,
I don't know. Maybe
why
she's
doesn't she
just the
have
kind
more
of
wrinkles?
person maybe she's just the kind of person who's good at it, but no, that's not for me.
No,
No.
no, thank you. I think I'll pass on that job 100%. I agree
But
with you.
did you see her hands? They did actually look injured. And I think, just like Donna was saying on here, that she thinks that he fought for his life. Her hands were scratched. I think he did fight. She had,
Really?
yeah, there were, when you see them, if you get a chance, pull it up. It's at the very end when they showed her head, but she pretended she had a wound on her head, and they were taking pictures of her face, but they took pictures of her hands, and there were some scrapes, and her fingers were red, bright red. Now, I don't know if she did it to herself to look injured, but she did have scratches and scrapes. I don't know, maybe
Okay.
he fought. Well, think
Yeah,
about it.
it's if it started with scissors or a knife,
Scissors,
the
strangling,
stabbing, the
right?
strangling. Oh, especially the strangling. That's exactly
Right.
what you're doing. You're going,
You're gonna
you're
fight. Yeah.
right. And then when that wasn't successful, perhaps, or it
Yep.
wasn't fast enough for her, that's when she went and got the gun
Exactly.
because
Yep. Because it
uh,
didn't work.
it didn't
And
work.
And yeah, it did kind of look like it could have been a tooth mark. I mean, you would bite, you would fight, you would claw. Yeah, yeah, I agree. That's what it looked like. And I wonder if that's why, she stopped. You would figure she wasn't actually assaulted. So maybe, she's like, no, 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 I don't want the exam. But maybe also she didn't want the exam because they would see all of these injuries,
Right.
harsh, the injuries that he actually inflicted, which good for him. Good for Gannon, It's terrible, but yeah, you would fight back. You would.
I think so too. I think it took a while, unfortunately,
Yep.
because of, but I didn't really hear, was there post-mortem stabbings? Did they say
Yes,
that?
some of the wounds did not bleed. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah.
So who knows how
Which to me, once again, what that's a lot of anger and a lot of rage. And I don't mean it how it's going to sound, but what did he do to incite that in her? I don't think I don't think he, um, it wasn't his fault. I'm not saying that. I'm
right,
wondering
right,
what in
absolutely.
her head, right? What in her head did this,
Yeah. Yep. Yep. The closest theory I got was just the brother leaving a little breadcrumb that she was a super clean freak,
Nice.
and so that was her breaking point, that he made her house dirty. That's, if it's even true, I don't know, but that's the only
I'm betting.
breadcrumb. Pardon me.
Well, I'm betting. Think about this. If you think about that, she had OCD. You've got to know that Lainey, that Harley, that Gannon, they all knew that. If you live with an OCD, if someone has OCD, you know that. You keep your room clean. You when you go in the kitchen, you wash the knife you used or the spoon you used. You put it in the dishwasher. You know how people are. If
Hmm.
she's really OCD, you get used to that. I'm sure it wasn't new to him.
Right.
So yeah, and maybe the candle incident threw her over the edge. And she went into a rage. I
Hmm.
don't know. Did
Hmm.
anybody say anything about her having anger issues? I didn't hear that.
No, it sounded
I
like she
didn't.
was pretty level-headed. He called her smart. He would come for the summers. They'd go to water parks. Sounded
Yeah.
like she was. I
And
don't. I
even
did.
Al didn't say anything about her being angry, did he?
No, no violence. No.
Mm. And I mean, he would have, right? He's done.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Oh, yeah. He's
Like, I'm done.
100%.
I'm
Bury
here
this
to pay
woman. This
everything.
woman. Yes. I'll give you whatever you want.
Yeah.
How do you murder over a mess? I don't know. You should come to my house because I'd be murdering people like crazy. My whole family would be out.
Yeah.
Oh, man, my house drives someone
no,
with
I don't
OCD
want to.
nuts. Mine too.
I don't think any of the family lives in the same house. I know that obviously she moved out, Harley moved out, and I think the dad moved out too. I don't think any of
Yeah.
them live in the same house.
I don't know
A
for
lot of
sure, but I just assume that that's a big no.
Yeah, a lot of
They
times
may have
houses.
said, but I didn't even pick it. Yeah.
I didn't either. I didn't either. A lot of houses like that get torn down, and I would
Hmm.
bet after this she gets convicted. I bet you it gets torn down. Maybe they'll put a park there, something. You know.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they were renting, so the owner's probably like, "Thanks a lot, jerks."
exactly. There was my property value. There went my house.
Mhm. Alright, so then we had the guy that walked through the house, which I thought was just, I don't know, like I mentioned earlier, it was just eye-opening to see how they lived, where
Right.
everything was, see that storage room in real life. It just makes it so real.
Yup.
And I'm glad they did that because especially if it is a rental house and they do decide to rent it to somebody else, that
Mhm.
they wouldn't be able to get in or be able to get in with all the little stickers and stuff for the jury to see it. So
Yep.
so now they get that visual without having to go out to the house itself. So That was
without
really
having to
neat.
preserve it. Yeah.
Right, right. Um, then, you hear about the laundry room, and then you hear about, the spots in the garage where she probably loaded them in the car. It's
Yep.
really we're putting the pieces together. I was so wrong.
Yeah.
All my conclusions are always off. I wouldn't make a very good detective.
What did you think it was something else?
I just thought he didn't come back to the house. I thought that
Oh,
something happened away from the house. I thought something happened at the house and then they left, and then that is when she shot him, and
oh,
then she disposed of him and she came back by herself. I know that there was a shadow over there, but I'm like, that could be anything. It could be a bird
sure,
flying over the car, it could be anything.
sure.
So I was having a hard time believing that he actually returned, but it sounds like he
Gotcha.
100% returned. So,
I would like to know how she had time. I mean, obviously, she's a cleaner. I get the whole cleaning part. I get that she can handle the cleaning, but how did she have time? Is this when she sent Harley and Lainey to the store? Or, I mean, when did this, when are we saying this happened? She said he went missing or went to his friend's house on the 27th, right?
mhm.
So are we saying that, like, in a matter of hours? What, like, maybe when Harley was out and Lainey was at school? Is that what we're saying?
Well, what was there only like 45 minutes before Lainey came home? She sends Lainey outside. Lainey would have heard some gunshots, right? Somebody would have heard some gunshots.
Well, they said that on the that I had that witness on the stand who had gone through all that video. Do you remember?
Mhm.
She watched, like, what, 4 days worth of video from across the street to see
Mhm.
who was where when they were there. Um, Sometimes it had audio, sometimes it didn't. I don't know. They were saying maybe you'd hear gunshots, maybe you wouldn't. I just, you know, I don't know if they said. I'd have to go back through it. I don't know if they said that the gunshots caused, like, if the wounds from the gunshots were when he was alive, like if they bled. I don't know. Like, I'm wondering if she
Mhm.
shot him somewhere else. Does that make sense?
Right. Right. Oh, maybe. Oh, interesting.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because we
Yeah.
know he took his body somewhere,
Right.
like
Right.
probably the county 105,
Yep.
and
Yep.
then reported him missing. And I don't know. People do weird things when they after they've left a body somewhere. Sometimes they go back and they make sure they're dead. You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
they inflict more injuries. I don't know. She's. I don't want to say the word crazy because that's what she's going for, but you know what I mean.
Mhm. Mhm. Few screws loose. Just leaving all those little breadcrumbs. Oh, every little thing she did. The hotels, the rental cars, especially knowing that you're in a rental car, that there is a possibility that there is a tracker on it because people will steal cars and they need to go and get them. Even like uh, newer cars, if you lease them, they put a tracker on it. Just so if you stop making, they don't track you, but if you stop making
Yep.
your lease payments, they'll know where to come and get the car back from.
Right.
So it's hard for me, as smart as she is, that she is just so bad at this. Thank God
Right.
she is, though, because whoa, whoa.
Didn't she try to tell Al that Gannon was mean to her or after her? Didn't she try to put that out there before?
I had remembered you said that, but I don't know where we got that from, though.
I
I'm not
think it was
sure.
when Al was on the stand. When he was first on the stand, he said she had started telling him that Gannon was after her and that Gannon was mean to her, and he said that he thought basically it was rubbish. That Gannon was a small child, first of all. There was no way he could intimidate her physically. Second, he wasn't that kind of child. He was very sweet and kind, and he just wouldn't be intimidating. He wouldn't be, quote unquote, after her. Pretty sure it's
Right.
when he was on the stand. I could be wrong, but
Yep. Yep. And he
it
was the only one of the kids that was in counseling. They put
I
him in
didn't know that.
counseling. Yeah, they put him in counseling when they went to South Carolina.
Mm.
So I'm wondering, was Letitia not nice to him when? Al
Right.
wasn't around, and so he was lashing out in a way, and maybe his dad heard some concerns,
Sure. Or
and
maybe
but
he was the one that she didn't like, you know? She liked
mhm,
Blaney, and she liked, well, obviously Harley was hers, but
yep, yep,
she didn't
she liked
like
her
Gannon.
dogs,
Yep.
and he just was not one that she would get along with, especially if she's saying those things early on about
Yeah.
him not liking her or something. It just is like she's planting a seed of
Right.
if there's a
Putting it out there
argument,
first.
yeah,
Well,
it's
and I think it was also she wanted Al to take her side in arguments against Gannon. You know, in a household, when there's the dad, the mom, the son does something wrong, and the mom says, you're grounded for a week, and the dad says, well, it's not that bad, let him just be grounded for a day. Those kind of arguments, I think she wanted to win those,
mhm.
which once again, she's cuckoo, but those kind of things. But he said too that she wasn't that bad, that she knew how to set boundaries. She could take away his Nintendo Switch for like a week. She would be okay with him. He trusted her with him, is basically what he's saying.
Right, right.
Poor Al. Criminy.
Oh my gosh.
Like, she
Yeah,
ruined so many people's lives, really.
so
Terrible.
many people's lives. That mother just, I mean, she already struggled with addiction. I cannot imagine how
Oh,
she's doing.
Landon? Yeah.
Yeah. I that's that's a blow there. That I mean, it's unimaginable. I can't not imagine the pain that she's going through. And the guilt that she feels because we look at her and it's like, why wasn't she in the life? Why didn't she have
Yep.
them? That's just us. How does she feel? I should have had them, as the
Like, that's
mother.
just it.
Yep.
That's from the outside. And then you look at all of Letitia's Google searches, and a lot of her Google searches had to do with why am I raising a stepkid? Why isn't the mom doing
Mhm.
it? And
Mhm.
Landon sees those. I mean,
Yeah.
gotta be just soul crushing.
Mhm. Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
um, okay. Who else have they had out there?
They had okay, so the guy who inspected the truck where we seen where the carpet was ripped up, where if we're gonna go with this theory, this is not true, guys. Just take this as a grain of salt. This is Kim's theory. It means absolutely nothing. If he was frozen, if he was outside and it was those snowy days that they have in Colorado, he was frozen, he would have defrosted and then though even if he didn't, bodily fluids can leak out of that suitcase, so they got
Yep.
those bodily fluids out of that out of the back of that truck, that rental truck,
Yeah. Yeah.
which that
He
was
said, yeah. And he had those
okay.
pictures. That was terrible.
Destroying the house. Okay, so then yep, went through the house and then the nurse and then yeah, the whole assault and I just
Well,
remembered the story of her leaving the police station with toilet paper stuffed down her
what
pants.
was that?
She didn't want him to get her DNA or whatever. I'm just like,
Is
I
that
don't
what it was?
know.
Is that why she did it?
I I, I don't
Oh my
know.
goodness.
I wonder if they're going to bring it
Is
up.
that
They're probably going to bring it up in the next couple of days. It just takes them forever to get to. I don't know. I'm just
right?
impatient and I'm so interested and invested. I can watch trials all day and I'm not bothered. But this one, I'm
Yeah.
like, come on, I want to know. Come on, what's the next thing?
Well, and like with the blue star and the stuff in the truck, they told us that it's presumptive for blood. They told us they found DNA, but they didn't tell us that it was Cannon's. They didn't tell us that they said they sent it to a lab. They didn't tell us the results.
Right, right, right,
Usually you get the lead detective on the stand and he tells you everything. This person took it out of the truck, it went to the lab, and this was the result. We have no
right.
results. So yeah.
So we've just wasted a half hour
Yep.
and we know nothing more. But we already know. I mean, so when that person does testify, it's just going to be like, okay, I already know.
Hannah was asking how Al missed so many red flags. And I think that Al was gone a lot, and when he came back, it was like when I was growing up, my dad worked worked on the road. He was in construction. And so when he came home, my parents were really happy all the time to see each other. And they didn't really fight. They didn't talk about things because he just came home, and he was there for a little bit and then he'd go. And I think Al was like that. And so when he came home, everybody's happy to see him. Nobody was fighting. Everybody's doing okay. And he said, that Letitia was a good mom. She was a teacher. He didn't see any red flags. The police, when they first, they came, they thought it was a runaway. They did, until a little bit later in the evening, they were like, yeah, maybe not. But he just didn't see any red flags with her. He loved her,
Right.
which,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
military marriages are difficult. No, I agree.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe there was some red flags. I think that her becoming a flight attendant, maybe they were at the end of their relationship.
yep,
He's he was checked out. She's googling how, she's taking care of his kids and he doesn't appreciate her, and so maybe their relationship was coming, it wasn't doing great as it was. She was going
yeah.
to be a flight attendant so she could get away from having to take care of the kids anymore, because it doesn't make any sense for her to become a flight attendant.
No,
She has these degrees, she's teaching. If she left, she would lose her license in Colorado again, or
again,
not,
yeah.
or not again, because she
Well, to
lost it
lose it in, yeah,
yeah, yeah. So um it doesn't make any sense for her to do that unless she was trying to escape from whatever. And so that
right.
compounded with everything. So he's checked out anyways. Like, he's just like, let's just get through this. I need you for the next 2 weeks. In his head, he's still playing along. He's still being the husband, but, she can tell that, they're not cuddling at nighttime. He's not buying her flowers and telling her that he loves her. So
Yep.
she's not feeling appreciated whatsoever. And so, yeah, but
It's a weird leap, right? To go from a teacher to a flight attendant. It's
that
just the
makes,
strangest job leap I've ever heard.
yeah,
Going from
that's
a
escape.
teacher to maybe guidance counselor, or teacher to going, to outside somewhere to work as a therapist or adoption counselor, something
Right.
like that I could see. But flight attendant, I don't know. I mean, maybe she could have been one, but and who was going to take care of the kids?
And that's the thing, is I just think she was trying to escape, because, yeah, I think
Was
that
Al
was her
getting out
number
of the
one.
military? I mean, do we know? Was he getting out? I,
Al doesn't even acknowledge that she was even going to be a flight attendant. So maybe it was all just made up anyways. Maybe
maybe
that's
it's
her
just in her
sick
head.
little twisted kink. that's
Maybe
that's
we're
her.
only hearing that because she's telling other people.
Right.
Good grief.
Yeah. Spent 30 years as a nurse and wants to be a flight attendant now. Oh my gosh, really? Oh my gosh. After these last couple of years of being a nurse, I would want to get away from being a nurse as well. Yeah, I know that was taxing,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Maybe
but
it's not a strange leap then. It's just strange to me, I suppose. But then again,
yeah,
everything she does is strange.
everything
I've
that she
never.
is strange.
She's just not. She's not. She's a weird criminal.
Yeah.
Most criminals take a straight line, from
Hmm.
the crime to the end. But she loops all over the place, runs all over the country. I mean, who takes a body all over the country? I've never seen it before.
Right. Right. It,
Unless they're like Dahmer and they're taking the body all over the country.
right. Right.
Different,
Right. For different reasons.
different
Yeah.
reasons. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. This is for to hide, for deception. He had different reasons, but yeah, I don't know.
She's like,
So
I'm going to go to Texas, and tells her family, or no, South Carolina, and tells her family she rents the van to end in Texas. And then she drives. Nobody will know it's me if I go to Florida.
exactly.
What?
Nobody will recognize me. I could be. And what was that today? He asked her brother, had she ever been Maria? Had she ever been Jasmine? What was that? Does she run around being other people?
Apparently,
Have you
these
heard that
days,
before?
I uh Well, I think it plays into the insanity thing that maybe she's claiming
Oh,
she has multiple personalities,
no,
and
she does not.
well, I don't know.
Oh.
Nobody has said it so far, so we'll have to wait until the psych people get on stand. But it sounds to me like she's trying to. But I loved it when he said to her or to him, to the brother, the prosecutor asked him, "Who is Jasmine in Aladdin?"
Yeah,
He's like, "The
the
princess."
princess. That's what I was thinking. Why are you asking him about a Disney princess? Okay, that's where we're going this morning. All right.
She said it's the worst job she's ever had. Oh, being a nurse. Okay.
Hmm. Oh,
Oh, oh,
at El
the
Paso
jab.
County Jail. Well, there you go. That would be tough one. That would be a tough one, Miss Elise. Being a nurse at the El Paso County Jail. Good grief.
Oh,
Hmm.
no, thank you.
Yeah, I don't
People,
want her job either, Miss Elise. I just don't.
yeah, people
Thank you,
who
though.
need help but don't want help, and people who don't want to take their medicine who need to take their medicine.
Mm. Yeah, no, I could. I don't think I could do that. Not at the jail. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
I don't. I couldn't be a nurse anyway. I'm not nice enough to people. You have to. You have to be around people. I don't.
Oh, I don't buy that one bit. I think you would be great at it, but you'd spend 2 hours trying to get their whole life story,
Mm. um,
and you'd be giving everybody your email address.
I pray would. Yes.
If you need something, just call me.
Just call me. That's what I do. You're right. Miss Donna, I think she is at the um. What jail is she at? It's not El Paso. Hang on. Let me go get it. I mean, it's not. Hang on. What county is?
So the jab says even during him trying to get info from her, he says Happy Valentine's Day, and it reminds me he remains nice to collect information from her, and so maybe
Uh,
that's what was happening and before he left for that camp thing. You know, he's just trying to play along, play nice,
he
and she can
was.
tell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you remember that call? He said, he said, Happy Valentine's Day, and I thought, boy, that guy, he probably wants to throw up a little bit there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I
Donna, she
wanted to
is at
throw
the
up.
Miss Donna, she is at the El Paso County Jail. So if you'd like to write to her, that is where she's at. She said she wanted to write to her. That's where she's at. She said, "Can we send her mail?" I would suppose so. You just need to look up El Paso County Jail to see what kind of mail they can take. Hang on a second.
Yeah, and get her
That's
inmate
easy.
number.
Yep. Let me see if I can find that for you. That is not a problem. Let me see what I can do here.
You wonder how many letters she gets. She was getting death threats before she even went to jail. Can you? She'll be in solitaire forever.
No way. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can find her. There can't be that many stouts. Okay. I have a booking number for you. Let me grab that. Okay. Let's see, date of birth. Court case number. Let's see. Failure to appear, arrest warrant. Okay. All right, here you go, Miss Donna. She is at the El Paso County Jail.
What's interesting is that she's in El Paso County Jail, but then she's on trial in Colorado. So she must just be going to the Colorado jail as she's there.
Mm.
So she's
El
not
Paso
there
County.
right now. You have to wait until after the trial and find out where she's going to be at.
No,
She's
that's
in,
where she's being held right now.
well, she's on trial in Colorado.
Yeah, El Paso County, Colorado.
Oh, El
Sorry.
Paso County.
El
Oh my
Paso
gosh.
County, Colorado, honey. Sorry. In Colorado
Okay.
Springs.
Got
This
it,
is
got
in
it, got it.
Colorado Springs, yes.
Every
Let me
time I hear El Paso, I hear Texas.
Here you go. So here is the address to the jail. Give me 1 second here. All right, so that's that. Here's the the address to the jail. Alrighty. I'm gonna get you her inmate number. Let's see here. Um, she has a booking number, but not an inmate number. Probably because, let's see here. Arrest warrant. Yeah. Okay. Right. And then this is her booking number. All right. So there you go, Miss Donna. You just need to um, just pull up the El Paso County Jail rules. They'll let you know how you can write, when you can write. Sometimes it's on one sheet of paper. Sometimes you can write up to 3 sheets of paper, but only on the front side. They're really particular about how you write to inmates. So, but that's where you would write, and that's her booking number. There you go. Just look up the rules.
Yep, yep. Thanks, Janie. You're amazing.
You're welcome.
So, Barbara
I better.
asked. Go ahead.
Mm-mm. No, go ahead.
Barbara asked. She's not insane. She knew what she was doing. Okay, yep, I got that one. But no, somebody else said, when is Harley going to testify? And I think it's going to be soon. Don't you?
I do.
They're
I
talking
think
about
it's gonna
this.
be. I wonder if it's going to be tomorrow morning. You know, every morning they're hitting hard with something, right? Yesterday
Mm-hmm.
morning it was the ME with the autopsy. This
Yep.
morning it was the brother. I'm wondering if tomorrow morning it's going to be Harley. I think they're hitting hard every morning, and then in the afternoon they put these investigators in that ignore and really annoy us. But they do have to do chain of custody. So yes, Mooney, I know they have to do that. They drive us crazy, but yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think maybe tomorrow.
I hope
I
so.
really don't think this is going to be what was supposed to be 6 weeks. It might.
It might. I think we have all the psych
Did,
evals. That's gonna take a couple days. I bet.
yes. Yeah, and then
And
her
then
case too.
her what? What'd
Oh,
you
and then
say?
her
And then
case.
her case.
Her case, her side. Yeah. She's
Yeah.
probably got several psych evals, people come up that have talked to her.
Yep. Yep.
You
But
would
the good
think.
news is her defense isn't asking a lot of questions. A lot
No.
of times he says, I don't have any questions. So it does make it go faster.
Yeah. Yeah. It does.
Should I send it to Jasmine or to
Oh, I don't know.
Letitia?
She might answer you better if you said it to Jasmine, Miss Donna. Apparently, she likes Jasmine. That was the first we've heard of it, but the other one was Marie.
Maria, yeah. Or
Maria, I don't
Maria.
know. Maria, Jasmine. I don't know. I mean, people don't like their names, right? I mean, I get that, but that was just weird, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that is pretty much everything that they've covered in the last 2 days. I can't really think of anything else that's really standing out that I think that this trial is moving along. I mean, it felt a little painful this afternoon, but overall, we're getting a lot of information. It's not information that's closed yet. It's like we're getting all these experts, and then, you know,
Yeah,
then the final examiner or whatever is going to come up and then seal the deal of whose blood was it, what kind of age or not agent, but bodily material was it? Was it blood? Was it decomposing tissue? What was it? So
right.
all that information will probably continue into tomorrow.
Was it Gannon's? Yeah, did
Was
it
it
come up
Gannon's?
as Gannon's blood? Yeah.
Right, right.
I think
Yeah.
we are just used to trials that have the lead investigator come in and tell us everything. And this time they're just doing it slower. They're showing the progression, every person that did this. A lot of people worked on this case, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of people, they put what, 11 witnesses today? Just today, you know?
Just today. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah.
And some of these don't necessarily even live in Colorado. So the
Mm-mm.
prosecution is paying big bank
Yeah,
to
they
get
are.
these people out to testify. They're dotting all this guy is making sure he does not lose this case. This woman
Yep.
is going down
Yeah.
as she should.
Yeah. He's bringing everybody in. You know, the Avis guy was like the Avis slash budget guy. He was like the head of everything. Every time you bring someone in, they're like the head of everything. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you know, the
Yep.
head of that investigative unit. Everyone is the top of the top. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I
Yep.
agree. I think he's playing to win, and I'm glad. You know, so
Right. Right. Me too. Me too. I have never wanted to see somebody rot in jail. I mean, either way, well, I can't say either way. She's very manipulative. So if she was to go to a mental hospital, I've seen where they say they get better
yeah,
and they get released.
and
So,
then let him out. Yeah,
and they let
I've
them
seen it
out.
too. We don't
Yeah.
want that. No.
No, no, she needs to be in jail. She is an awful, awful person. And, a mental break is one thing. You go in and you turn yourself in and you, you know, I, I did
She
it.
had a
I'm going to
mental
do my
break.
time.
She'd be sitting there. She'd be sitting there in the courtroom crying and sobbing, and I'm so sorry. You know, she
Yes.
wouldn't be able to look at those pictures. I mean, half these people on in here with us. There's 85 people. Half of the people in here can't watch this because it's that bad. But she can sit and watch it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without even having emotional
No.
emotion at all, not getting
Mm-mm. No.
emotional at
No.
all. Just like this the whole time, or this,
Yep.
or
Yeah.
the
She's
grudge
bored.
with her hair in her face. Yeah.
Yep. She looks
Compl-
bored. Yeah.
yep.
Mm.
There's got to be pissed over this trial. Oh no, I agree. But
Yeah.
I
I
I
don't
I
think
wouldn't be
I don't think
pissed.
we'll lose, Donna. I
Yeah.
think they're doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if anything. If they threw in some surprises to get her off, Jodi Arias or something. But I think there's just too much information here.
I think if
Not
she takes
Jodi.
this, yeah,
Jodi. She got guilty. She got
yeah.
guilty. I speak English. Um, it was the other one. The one that we always see.
I
Uh,
think if she takes the stand, she'd be doing a very, very big disservice to her case because I'm pretty sure that prosecutor would tear her apart. She lies way too much, and I don't think she can keep track of it now. It's spun out of control. You know,
right.
you and
Right.
I have 3 notebooks trying to keep track of what she said.
Right.
You know,
I know. I'm like taking all these notes and I'm just like this thing and this thing. And I'm like, well, that's not really important. But I mean, it is important. But I'm like, that's not interesting. But yeah, there's too much
how's she
information.
supposed to remember all that? Yeah, I don't
Exactly.
think she should. Yeah, but it would be interesting if she did.
Right. All
Okay.
right, guys. I think we're going to wrap it up today, unless anybody wants to talk about something else.
Yes, Connie got it. You were talking about Casey Anthony.
Casey Anthony, thank you. A brain
Yes.
fart. I'm like sitting
Thank you.
over here racking my brain. I'm like, well, never mind. Let's just move on. Casey Anthony, thank you.
Thank
I
you,
would,
Jab, Connie, Connor. Yes, Casey Anthony.
but what I was thinking about, I know, like, let's go, but what I was thinking about, and you can tell me if I'm far fetched, but don't you see this as a Chris Watts, but in a
Mm,
female form, where there was signs before, he was he was
mm-hmm,
cheating on her, and had this secret thing
mm-hmm,
going on. Letitia, just lies about everything, but you
mm-hmm,
know but they both had like stable homes and stable families, and I don't know, I just see it as a female version of Chris Watts, and I could be far off, but it's just Chris Watts was just so out of the blue for me. It just didn't make sense. But it doesn't make sense for this woman to go on to become a doctorate if she is, which you know
Yeah.
Nothing's proved us otherwise. And and gets married and has this blended family, working, husband's going off to military training and then killing her son. No abuse going on in the home prior, nothing, no
No
alcohol,
drugs.
drugs. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. So that's why I compare it to that,
Yeah.
where I could be completely off, but I don't know. I
Well, I
just
think
get
it's the
those
lack of
vibes.
motive too. I think it's
Lack
the
of
lack
motive.
of motive, you know.
Yeah,
There's not enough motive. We can find some motive, just like we can find some motive with Chris Watts, but not
yeah,
enough.
right, right.
And then the stone cold, just sitting there, no emotion, that also connects to Chris Watts. That was the harshest thing people could say to you, and he just sat there.
Yeah,
She's doing the same thing. People are talking about what she did to a child, and she has nothing. You know,
nothing. No, and I
nothing.
know the jury's looking at her. I know the jury's over there crying, probably themselves. Or
Probably when
they're
they saw the suitcase, all of it. Yeah,
right. And she's just like, when's lunch?
yeah, exactly. Where's my break?
When's our break? I did see her drink a water today.
Uh, mm,
I'm like, oh, she's alive. She's awake.
Go over there.
She's moving. What is she doing? Oh, she's going to drink a water. I guess we do see her talk to her lawyer every once in a while, but yeah.
I think they talked to her like, "Hey, are you awake over there?"
Exactly. You
Yeah,
nudge her. You wake,
it's
get
yeah.
up.
We've seen this though. I mean, there are stone cold killers that go into court and they just sit there. She's no different, except for she's female, so we can't figure it out. You know,
Right.
she's supposed to love this child, supposed to care for this child, and she's exactly the same as all the men that go to court and sit there exactly the same. They feel nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd love to see an interview with her right now. I'd love to see some reporter get to her and talk to
Yeah.
her right now. It
Well,
happens. We've seen it in other cases where a reporter sneaks in and gets an interview with her. I'd
yeah.
love to see that.
That would be interesting how and what she would say.
Yeah.
I would bet probably 70% of it would be lies, but there
Yeah.
has to be, like, she's pleading guilt. She's saying, I did it. So
Yeah.
how
I
did it
did it.
happen? How did it
Yeah.
happen? Gannon attacked me or such. She'll say something dumb like that, which,
Right. But this is a guilty plea.
yeah,
No matter what, it's a guilty plea. D. Flannery said there's another parallel between the three of them. Watts blamed his wife. Casey Anthony blamed her father, and this chick blamed every Hispanic man in the area. D, you are right. She couldn't blame enough Hispanic men. I don't know what her problem was with that. Yeah,
oh, Anthony blamed her
yeah.
father, and this
Poor,
blamed every
poor Quincy
Hispanic
Jones and
D.
yeah.
You're hilarious.
And what's the other man's name? Ed El. What's the other man's El Rada? What's his name? I can't
Where?
remember his name. The first guy she accused. It doesn't matter. She's ridiculous, and I don't want anything to
Eduardo.
do a thing to her. But you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Eduardo. Yes. Yes, you're right. All the Hispanic men in the world. Yeah.
Which I
Yes.
think she's Hispanic. Somebody asked me if she was Indian, but I think she's Hispanic,
Well,
but
someone on here earlier was talking about how they live very close to her family in Lumberton, and they were talking about how they were Native American. Her family was, and this person was. It was earlier in the chat, way early. I'm
oh,
trying to see if I
yeah,
can find
yeah,
it.
I
Chat
do
report.
remember. Yeah,
So
somebody.
that is possible. I don't,
I
but
haven't
I
heard
don't
one
know.
way or another. Yeah,
No one has said. I mean, I can go look tonight, but no one has said. Well, no one's really talking about her history or her family. Not really. Not in the press. They might be now since her brother talked, but
yeah.
I don't know. Hmm.
I wonder how her dad or her stepdad, he got ran over, and the attorney was like, "Do you want to tell the jury how your father was killed?" And he said he got hit by a car, and he's like, "Well, how did he get hit by a car?" And he's like, "Was he in the road?" And his brother was like, "No, I believe he was on the sidewalk." And so then they just kind of moved on. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering if there's like a story there of
Who
how
hit him? Yeah. Who hit
how
him?
that yeah, who hit him? How did it happen? Was it
Yeah.
a fight and somebody ran him over, or what
Right.
was that? But it never got there. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's see here. Brother's testimony shed some light. I'm just going back to the earlier ones. I just
Yeah,
see
I
if
get
I
that,
can.
Lauren. Lauren said that she was assaulted and refused to let anyone touch her for months. I understand that, Miss Lauren. Um I didn't in any way mean to say that that was wrong. I understand that. Maybe some people would not want to be touched after being assaulted. I just don't believe that Letitia was assaulted ever. But maybe she was earlier. She might have been earlier in life. I mean, she did leave at 16. That does say something happened. I mean, I'll give her that one because I get that. Families are families are a mess, and maybe something happened earlier. But I don't believe the assault stories that she came up after Gannon went missing. So then when she went to have the forensic exam that she backed out of, that's what I was talking about. But I know that people that are assaulted sometimes don't want to be touched, or they don't want to have a forensic exam, and I understand that. I
Absolutely.
wouldn't, yeah, I
And I
wouldn't
think
say that. Go ahead.
there was a different way that went down though. She agreed to it, said that it happened, goes there, gets everything started, makes up um, a story that her daughter's in the waiting room, and then she disappears. So refusing the test, it, that's one thing, but doing all these weird things around it is just
Yeah,
odder than her not doing the test, in my opinion. Because you're right,
right. Putting the paper down her pants, and
doing all kinds of weird stuff, and then running from the cops. I don't know where she thought she was going.
they weren't arresting her. And she's the one who reported the assault. They were there to take her statement, and they did take her statement. You know,
Oh, Lauren, you didn't know that she strangled him too? She drugged him,
no.
strangled him, stabbed him, and shot him. Do you think that she wanted him not to be alive anymore?
Mm,
Overkill.
yeah,
Makes no sense.
something. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
And the drugging him could mean anything. That could just be because he was hurting from his burns and she didn't
Yeah,
want to take him to the doctor and she knew that
yeah.
strong medicine was in there. It could mean nothing, but it probably means everything. I don't know.
Any of those things could have been the act. Let's say she started with the strangled and thought that it worked. Came back, it didn't work. Tried stabbing, came back, it didn't work. Tried shooting. Or it could have been in any order. Tried stabbing, came
Yep.
back, didn't work. Tried strangling. Or it could
Yep.
have been that it was a fight, a strangling, a stabbing, and then a shooting. It could have been all together. It's just really rough on a little child with no precursor, no
Right.
event that we don't know
No,
of. There may be
right.
an event we don't know about. I
Exactly.
just want to take her and shake her. I'm going to take her and shake her and tell me what happened.
What happened?
Yeah.
But then once she did tell the story, it probably still just wouldn't make sense. You'd still be like, okay, but it's not making sense. He did
Yeah.
what?
She still says that either Eduardo or Quincy Jones. One of the stories was that he fell off his bike, he hit his head, and he died. Quincy Jones took his body.
Yeah,
Did
that was great.
the injuries to the body don't coincide with any story she told. None of them.
Right, right.
None of them work.
I
Donna, was he on Vyvanse? Did they say he had Vyvanse in his system, Kim? I didn't hear that.
uh I don't remember that part either.
Hmm. Yes, Heather Max, she is pregnant. Well, she has a TikTok where she has sonogram pictures. So yeah, she did say that she was pregnant. I hope she has someone with her, family or friends, or you can make your own family. You don't have doesn't have to be blood. It does seem like she has family in South Carolina that would be there for her. I don't know how that's going to work, but you know
Taylor, that's a interesting theory.
what?
She said, I think her initial plan was to burn the house down with Gannon drugged to sleep in the basement. New construction requires builders to use flame resistant materials, so candles smothered instead of full on
Hmm,
fire.
huh. Mm.
Haley Hunt, not Harley Hunt. It's Haley or Harley? I thought it's Harley.
Legally, it's Harley.
Oh,
Legally it's Harley Novea Hunt. Is her
okay.
legal name? I don't know what she's going by on TikTok, but her legal name is Harley Novea Hunt. Hmm.
I'm glad her husband saw through her. Took him a while, but I think he was playing along. I think it didn't take him that long because as soon as he seen that neighbor's
Oh yeah,
video, he went
I
back
saw
to
that
the
video.
police
He said, "Oh,
department.
she."
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
when he
he
went
said, "Oh,
back
she
for this.
lied."
Yeah, he went back for that second interview. Like, wait a minute, this this is this is not good.
Yeah, and he said he saw that her truck or her car was not at the school where it was supposed to be. And then he really freaked out. Why is she lying about all these things?
Right.
Mm. Yep. At least Kim thinks she was frozen too. He was frozen too. I'm gonna go back and watch the the medical examiner because she should have talked about his blood and talking about any of the blood cells burst to show that he had frozen. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
I
Maybe.
think I'm gonna rewatch it too because I just got the drugs in his system and the other things.
Mhm.
I think I was just moving around the house. I might have
Yeah,
been just dealing with my computer issues, but I
yeah,
did hear that he had the hydrocodone in his system. But
yeah.
I don't know how much other I really. At least I didn't retain any of the information.
Well, the defense attorney was talking about was trying to make a big deal about the fact that she found the hydrocodone in the liver and not in the bloodstream, and she was like, he was very decomposed. I had to get it in the liver. He didn't have a bloodstream left. He was decomposed.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So he was making a big deal about the fact that she found it in the liver. Did it matter? She found it in his body.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
Take
I will go back and watch it. Because I'm not sure if she talked about you know burst blood cells, but I will go back and see, just to see. She might not have caught it. It might not have even been on there. I have looked everywhere for his autopsy report, but I have not seen it. So
But you imagine the smell that would be if he wasn't. Like Harley
I-
would 100% know. And maybe she did know. And that's why she is a witness for the prosecution.
maybe. Well, and I was thinking, think about it like a budget truck because I drove one from Wisconsin down to Virginia. And if you think about how big they are, I don't know how big theirs were. Think about how big they are, and you have like all of your stuff in there, and then you're in the very front. Would you smell stuff that was in the very back? I mean, I don't know. Hang on. What do you think?
You roll that door up, we would.
Oh, yeah. Well, once you open the door in the back, you would. So I wonder if they didn't open it. I don't know.
Yeah,
You
because
don't know, but
I've heard that
yeah,
it's a smell that is
yeah.
a very distinct, very strong, disgusting smell. So if, you know, I left some food back there, I don't know if that would fly. I don't know if
No.
Harley.
Well, Harley had a vehicle too, right? Didn't she have a white Volkswagen? Maybe
Yes,
she was driving her own vehicle too, or was it impounded?
it was impounded.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll have to go back and watch that and see. Um, yeah, because I'm not sure. Hang on one second.
You never forget that smell, Taylor said. So then he stabbed him and didn't realize how hard it is to take someone's life. So she bludgeoned him. He was still alive. So she got the gun. Just a theory. I am with you, Taylor, on that one. I believe it was a progression of events. But I want to rewatch the autopsy because there was 18 stab wounds, and so there was some that didn't bleed. So that means that she was kept going after death.
Yeah. Which that again says that she really wanted him gone. So why? Her car, Donna, they had impounded most of the family vehicles, and so then she was when her family got there, they had driven they got a budget rental. Her aunt was driving a rented Altima, so they had rental cars because all of their cars have been impounded. Okay.
Hmm. Oh,
Oh,
something, some kind of substance in there to help with smell. I don't know if that does it
they
though.
might have. They didn't. I don't know, Taylor. They didn't say. They did say that they found. I mean, obviously, they talked about finding his body in there. They talked about the smell. I don't. They didn't talk about any additives, or lime or anything like that. Because I know you could put lime in there. They didn't talk about anything like that. Just his body. So I don't know. Once again, we don't know if it was just her with the body or if Harley was with her. I mean, we'll have to wait till Harley was there to know. But you know,
Okay, okay, this explains why she took the van and not her car. Yep, Donna, that's why. And she had all of her stuff with her too, because her and Harley went and picked up all their stuff from Al's house. And so they had a van worthy or a truck worthy of stuff that they moved out of the
yeah,
house. And that's when the officers were checking all their bags and suitcases, everything that they were bringing
going
out.
through everything. Yeah,
So that proves that she didn't go and pick him up from the house, that he was somewhere else.
right. Because they went through it.
Yeah. And so
Yeah,
then they followed her steps, and there's a wooded area that I believe is where they found the particle board with blood on it.
yeah.
And that's the area that they were looking for Gannon, but they never found him because I believe she picked him up from there. But yeah, that's where they're leading us to. The prosecution
Yeah.
is just slowly working us through her steps, which she did a lot.
Elise, are you saying that the video we had was for Harley, not Haley? I mean, was for Haley, not Harley? Is that what you're saying? Kim, I just forwarded you a TikTok of Harley. I think Elise is saying that what we had earlier was from a girl named Haley, not Harley.
Oh, people are messing it up.
No, yeah. See what you
Uh,
got was for a girl named Haley Hunt, not Harley Hunt. But because Harley Hunt is
yeah,
so big right now, yeah,
yeah, that's her. She's so pretty.
yeah, yeah,
She's just she's she's
yeah. That's
talking
her.
about
Yeah.
yeah, she's not.
Guys, I'm literally so excited. I just finished my interview out of hiring event for a job position that I've been really wanting for a while now. I got the job. I'm like super excited. I tell you that God.
She got a job. She's not pregnant. Okay, we
Mm-mm.
can debunk that. Harley is
Yeah.
not pregnant. Haley is, though.
He
Congratulations,
is.
Haley. Oh, that's funny.
There's another one down.
Yeah, exactly. She's so pretty. I wonder if Letitia was in her. I mean, I'm not saying she's dog ugly right now. I mean, but Her
But
daughter's like
Harley's really
dead.
pretty.
Yeah, she's like drop dead. Gorgeous. She has that beautiful hair. I just can't wait for her to testify. Give us the
I know.
juice.
I know. I wonder if she's gonna be like the brother, like Letitia's brother, Dakota. I wonder if she's gonna be like
Oh,
Dakota. You know?
breaking down.
Yeah.
Uh, she doesn't seem like she's too broken down.
Um.
This post was just, what was this?
So I think I found.
David,
See,
did she do this?
Mama of Three. I think that the suitcase was tossed on February 5th, is what I believe, and then I think it wasn't found until June. Is that right, Kim?
It
Suitcase was found.
found. Oh, I didn't write
June.
any dates down. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'll get it. Let's see.
Sent you an email.
It was found on June. Give me 1 second here, Mama of Three. We're just talking today about when she was on that bridge, when she was in that area.
Compared to when the suitcase, because the workers said it was really smelly. Yeah.
It had been there for a while.
Let me see.
Okay. Actually, sorry about that. March 17th, 2020. Okay, so Mama of Three, on March 17th, 2020 is when the worker found the suitcase that had Gannon. And they're saying today that she was on that bridge on February 5th. So it's still a little ways, March 17th, 2020. So
a month.
over a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woman destroyed so many people's lives. So many people's lives. Mama.
Yeah.
March 17th, 2020. Yep. And when do they start smelling? After a couple days, right? I'm saying they, like, I'm not trying to be insensitive to Gannon, but I'm just saying in general.
It depends on the state of the body, the area, if it's hot, if it's cold, what kind of conditions it's kept in,
Yeah.
how long it takes to decompose, the adipose. It depends on the conditions of the area, where it's at. So
right.
We really don't know. Probably immediately. This was Florida. Even in March, it's already started getting hot.
Oh. Yeah. So many lives. You think you don't even consider him, but seeing that and smelling that, he's going to remember that for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
No one saw the suitcase. No one, not a homeless person, not a soul.
Mm-mm. Well, it was under this. This bridge was there were like 3 bridges, and this was kind of up under the bridge, close to the what is that called? Kind of the pikes that stand it up. So it's kind of close to it, so no one saw it. But it was a bridge worker that came out there to kind of inspect the bridge, so it was lucky that they came out there. It wasn't in the water, it wasn't waterlogged. Where she tossed it, it landed like on land, which was just kind of a fluke. Most of those bridges have water right under them, so. But I believe today that they said, when they were talking about all of those points, they said that she was in Lake Buena Vista, Florida, February 5th, because the Avis budget pings are crazy. Avis budget knows everything to do. So
yeah,
do not do anything wrong in an Avis or a budget. Just don't. They ping me constantly. They know where you're at, when you're doing it.
Yeah, they ping it every couple hours.
Yeah.
She has so many.
What's that?
She has so many breadcrumbs. It's amazing.
What was the time frame when she threw it? I don't think they've said yet. They said that she was Lake Buena Vista on the 4th. I mean, on the 5th. Hang on one second.
Oh, I clicked on that one. Oops.
She checked into a hotel room in that area in February. Here it is. She checked in just after
Budgets.
midnight on February 4th, and she checked out the same day. Yeah,
Yeah. Did she check out the same day?
right. And they'll change it tomorrow because they gave us some destination parts or some spots. They're saying February
Yep.
4th is when she was near the bridge.
Right. 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 She spent the night. It was like right before midnight. She checked in, and then she spent the night and left the next day before 11 a.m. when the girl at the front desk checked her out or whatever. Didn't check her out, but she doesn't remember if she's
Yes.
seen her or didn't see her. So it sounded like it was just a night, and then she went on
Yes.
to, I don't know, South
Well,
Carolina, then Texas or
some of those
where. I don't.
hotels you can. Some of those hotels you can just do a checkout in your room. You click a thing on the TV, you leave your key sitting there, and you leave. So,
Mm-hmm.
she didn't even know. I mean, theirs, she didn't even know she had actually checked her out. She didn't remember her as a person. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Right.
But the, so far, what they've said is that she was near in that area February 4th. I don't think they know specifically the day that she did it. I think they
Mm.
can give the area when she was in the area, but they can't
Mm-hmm.
say February
Mm-hmm.
3rd, 4th, 5th. So maybe
Yep.
Harley can,
Maybe
you
Harley
know?
can. If she was with her, I'm wondering
Right,
if she
right.
was. They When they checked in for one, but that doesn't mean anything. I check in when I have my daughter and my grandkids. I check in as two, so I don't have to pay the extra people.
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
so I don't know. I don't know if that means something or not, but
Right. She checked in as one, but everybody does that. Yeah,
right,
exactly.
right.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing too. She's not gonna say, "Yeah, oh yeah, my daughter's with me, and my two dogs are with me." She's not gonna say any of that. No.
Right, right. Just one, and she's doing it online, and she's just whipping through the fields and getting it
And the
over with.
Ford motor, she got that coupon. I'm like, since when did she work for the Ford Motor Company? She did not.
I wonder who she knows that works for Ford. Like, how did she
I,
get that discount?
I don't know. I used to travel a lot and I used to fly a lot. So I used United and Delta. And you get their miles cards and
Yep.
it did get you deals in hotels. So I would do the same thing she did, but it wasn't, Ford Motor Company. So I don't know who she knew, but yeah, like she worked at Ford Motor Company, but yeah.
Oh, that was just another one of her identities.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck?
That was a left. They never explained that either. Like,
No. They
what
just
is?
went right past it. Yeah.
I guess it's not. Who cares? I mean, that's like the least of our worries here. There's a little boy that lost his life, but it's just like, where did that come from? How did she do that? And
Yeah,
what's the
so
secret? Could I need the secret?
Mama of three, he went missing on the 27th, and everybody was there at the house searching. And then her family came down and got her. They got all of her stuff, and somehow she went and got his body. We're guessing from County 105. Kim believes that he was frozen. He could have been frozen out there. We're not sure. And then, yes, she had his body from the end of January, like 27th, 28th, until February when she put his body in Florida. So, yes, she, she had the missing child's body the whole time. Yeah,
And somebody commented that the weather was warmer, but
yeah,
Letitia in her body cam footage or the 911 call, maybe, I don't
yeah,
remember, but she said it started to snow outside.
yep.
And so I was getting more worried, or starting to sleet or hail, or I don't
Yeah,
know. She said something.
she said it's starting to snow, so I was worried because he didn't come home.
Right. And so that's what gives me the impression that it was cold, but that's a long
Yes,
time. I mean, it could
it
have
is.
warmed up a couple days. I don't
Well,
know.
and you think about it, that's what February 4th or 5th, to the 20. You're talking like 7 or 8 days to just have a body. And
Mm-hmm.
okay, that's 7 or 8 days to have a body with your family around. Your brother, your aunt, your mom, your daughter, your dogs. Oh, and she would have Lainey too, right? Or did no Al would have Lainey? Because they kind of like split up then, right?
Elle and Laney,
No, no, no. Al and Letitia.
Landon.
No,
They,
Al and Letitia. So like when this happened, when he went missing, Al came, or when Gannon went missing, Al came home,
yeah.
and then he figured out that she was lying, so they kind of split up.
Oh yeah, 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 yep. She wasn't allowed back in the home. Yep.
Right. So but were Al and Landon and Lainey staying in the home? They were staying somewhere else.
I think they stayed there. I
She
don't know.
said
I
to that.
can't say for sure. I want to say that they were there for a couple of nights, but then they moved somewhere else because
Yeah.
they weren't allowed to be there either.
She said to that reporter that her she said to that reporter that Landon was at the house. That's why she didn't want to be there. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
She said that her husband's ex-wife was there, so she wasn't wanted. She couldn't be
Yeah.
there.
And Al, when he testified, he
So,
said that wasn't true.
so
That they weren't. She wasn't staying with him.
yeah. So can Harley get in trouble for anything she knows about her mom? Well, it depends what she knows, Rebecca. And it depends on how involved she was. If she was involved, she may have gotten a deal from the state, the prosecution.
Immunity.
Yes, Kim
That
believes
word.
she has an immunity deal, and she very well may have. She may have a deal where you tell us everything and we don't prosecute you. I mean,
And
she was a kid.
yeah. And
Willfully,
Letitia, I think if Letitia cares about anybody, I think it's Harley. If she
yeah,
has any good in her whatsoever, I think that being Harley's mom, that she's really concerned about her, and that
yeah,
but Letitia's really selfish too. So, but I could see Letitia just from a mother's stake, if she is semi a good person, that she's like, just give them what they want. I'm already in trouble, and
yeah,
and she gets immunity.
yeah. And Lauren and Nancy, I believe that where she dropped him first, where they found that particle board, I think it was still in the same county. I think it was still in El Paso County. It's still in Colorado Springs. It wasn't that far from home, County
Hmm.
Road 105. Um, but it's a lot to think about just leaving a child's body there, and then I'm just gonna go back and pick him up, and I just oh good grief.
Yeah, and the brother's like, "Let me help you," and she's like, "No, no, no, I got it. Don't touch the suitcase."
And now
And
that brother is just tainted for life.
yeah,
He just is.
it's like I didn't feel right about it. Was he thinking, "Oh, that's Gannon's body in it"? Was
I
he?
wonder.
Was it
I wonder
that
what he
deep?
was thinking. I
Did
wish
he
they had
smell
asked
something?
him.
Did he see blood?
I
Didn't
don't.
say
I
that.
wish they had asked something because when they showed him that picture of that suitcase, he was just. Ugh. Yeah, I really wish. Wasn't there a dog in the house? We smelled a body. Well, see, and I don't think that the body was in the house, Mama of three. We believe that after after she took his life, that she took him out of the house. Yes, there was a dog there. I think they had two dogs, but I think she took him out of the house and then called and said, "Oh, he's missing." And the police come in and they search, but he's not there.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, the dogs absolutely they would have smelled it, but we don't believe he was there.
yeah, yeah. It just makes sense that she was getting everything out of the house. They've already conducted several searches of the house. I just find it really hard to believe that he was in that house. And the brother testified that she left for a couple of hours
Yeah,
and then came back, and he was like, "This is a little off, where did you go?" And then they go rent a van, switch her stuff from one van to the other van, and she gets out this large suitcase, and he's like, "Where did that come from?" I What is that? And he got a bad feeling about it
yeah.
and asked her, and she said it was softball equipment and that she had it, she didn't need his help. Ew, God.
And at the time, he felt something, and now he just knows. I was there
Hmm.
with the body. you know?
I was there with the
Yeah,
body.
it's
Yeah.
softball stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
His testimony was heartbreaking, actually. You could just feel his pain.
yeah. I think he did. Yeah. I think he did a lot for the prosecution. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Just the
Because,
suit, identifying the suitcase alone for me was like, yeah, seal it.
yeah, she had it. He knew it. She had something heavy in it. Like he
Mm-hmm.
placed her with it. We were waiting for Harley to do that, remember? We
Mm-hmm.
said, oh,
Yep.
Harley's going to be able to say she had this heavy suitcase. We didn't know there's a brother involved, too.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, who knows what else is involved? We don't know.
Right.
Oh,
But did you
yeah.
notice that we could see the TV today? And we were saying before, I hope they're listening, so maybe they'll move it over so we can see the TV.
And then they moved it. Yes.
They are never like 100% do not care about my channel, but I'm like, it's so funny. But we're not the only ones complaining about it. I'm sure that,
No.
bigger people are like, we need to see the screen. We need,
Yeah.
zoom in on Letitia and
That's what we
show
need is a zoom in on her, actual zoom in, where we can actually see her face.
without
But
it being fuzzy.
well, they've done it in other trials. You know, they did it in well, partially in the Rosenbaum, but they did it
Yeah.
in was
The
the
tattoo
little
guy.
no the couple and the baby in the well. What was his name? We covered that case.
I know.
Um
I
um
see. I see her blonde, like streaky
yes,
hair, in
I,
him with like the. He's like a. He just
and
looked
she argued with the
bad.
prosecutor. Why can't I remember their names?
Yes.
Oh, good grief! I'll find it.
That was the same with me and Casey Anthony, which everybody knows Casey Anthony. How did I forget her name? Hello. Once you say it, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The bloody board was
Yeah.
found in Douglas County. Okay. So it must be a little ways out. It's at a bend or something, a bend in the road, a curve in the road.
Daniel Groves. There you go. Jessica Groves. The
Jessica,
Groves
yeah,
case.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So we could see them. They could zoom in on their faces. That was good trial coverage, right? And they
Yeah,
even
it
asked
was.
people when they got on the stand, you know, do you want to be shown on TV if you or you know on coverage if you do not? That's fine. You know. So mm. And yeah, Donna, I'm trying to follow Lori's case. It's hard because they're only offering audio, and that's just they're also I don't know if anybody knows, but the Trezell and the Trezell West case is going on. Can't remember his wife's name right now. And they're also doing only audio, and they're only streaming that day. You have to listen to the audio, and then it's gone. You can't record it. You can't do anything with it. Jackie Trezell and Jackie West. You know the Orrin and Orson West case.
Yeah.
They're
Oh my
doing
God, that case is so interesting.
yeah, they're doing it
I
right now, and um, I don't know if you know, but the 10-year-old said that I don't know. Is it okay to talk about this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So their 10-year-old told the police that Orrin, when they lived at the first house in Bakersfield,
Uh huh.
Orrin, one morning they woke up and Orrin, he was the little one, right? He had blood coming out of his nose and mouth. And Trezell went to him, used something on him like maybe a stethoscope, but did not call a doctor, and he died. And the 10-year-old said, I never saw him again. The
Yeah.
10-year-old is one of their biological kids. And then they moved to Cal City. And then 4 days later, Orson, he said 4 days later, he heard a loud thud in the other room and he never saw Orson again. That was it.
What was
So
the?
both of them just disappeared. And that's what the 10-year-old said. And then apparently there's an 8-year-old too. The 8-year-old backed him up and said exactly the same thing that Orrin he had blood coming out of his nose and mouth, and he's really sick and he died. They didn't take him to the doctor. They didn't do anything, and then there's a loud thud, and then Orrin was gone too. So yeah,
What was
but
what?
they're
I
only
just. What is their
what
thought pattern? What was that?
Well, the prosecution thinks that maybe got into drugs or something. I don't know if Jackie and Trizell did any. I don't know. I mean, nobody talked about drugs being involved in the case. They didn't say that, but they were thinking maybe he got into something and they didn't want to take him to the hospital because that it would be exposed,
Right.
just like what we're talking about here. And then with that was Oren, and then with Orson, he cried a lot. He missed his brother. There were a lot of issues with him. Apparently, he cried all the time, non-stop, like 24/7. He cried because his brother was gone, and then he disappeared. So, but
So
it's a really
he was a witness, and they needed to get rid
yep,
of him. So they
yeah,
couldn't get him in trouble. Or yeah,
yeah. But they were 3 and 4 years old, and now they're gone. And but it's a really hard case to follow because they only offer audio. Just that at that time you have to listen, and then it's gone. The stream is gone. You cannot record it. You can't do anything with it.
what's the
So
reasoning behind that? That's
I
different.
don't know. They talked about maybe it was because of there's a lot of kids involved in the case because they had 6 kids. Obviously 2 of them are gone, but now they have 4 kids testifying. Maybe it's that. I don't know. They allowed a little bit in the morning, the first day of the opening, to be televised. You could see the prosecution and the defense, but then that was it.
Yeah.
And the defense says that that is not what happened. That
Okay.
that the prosecution couldn't imagine 2 little black boys could be kidnapped. That's what happened. Literally, those were their words. I was like,
Well,
"What?
that makes sense.
Sure,
Send them home. What? What
yeah, let's
world?
just go with that one. Sure, that, yeah."
No.
So yeah, um,
Every, everybody
mm-mm.
kind of knew there
And
was
so
something up.
Lori, yeah, and so Mama of Three, it's the same thing. It's hard to cover the Lori Vallow case because it's the same thing. They're only offering audio. When you only offer audio, it's really hard to cover that. I have to see the person talking. I don't know, just like this case, like to see the person, like see how they're interacting. I like to see the screens, like we were saying. I need to see the screen. I need to see what's on that screen. So yeah, so I've been trying to cover Lori Vallow, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's really hard to
that's
cover when you can't see it.
right, right. You'll have to get the
So
recaps of
anyway,
some way or another. Um, the Jab asked, how do they get clearance to adopt with no income? Well, their adoptions were bringing them in a very healthy income, enough income where they bought a home in Bakersfield, and it was what, almost a $300,000 home. So they had income from they had a couple of kids of their own, and then the 4 that were adopted. So they were getting, I don't I don't know how much exactly. I think I said it. I did a video on that case, and I don't know, it's like a
1,000
thousand
a
dollars a
1,000 a
kid.
child.
Yeah, so four thousand
Yep.
dollars a month, and then
Hmm.
probably like food assistance and health insurance and
Yeah.
I like Taylor. Zanny the nanny took them.
She takes all of them, right? She's also the one that kidnapped Sherry Papini, right?
Yeah, right.
Yes, Mama of Three. She is saying that she did kill him, but she was insane. That is what she's saying. Yeah. Not guilty by reason of insanity is yes, I did it, but I was insane, which is ridiculous.
What
For
makes
her,
it so
anyway.
ridiculous? Yeah, what makes it so ridiculous is all the planning that she did, and the lies she told, and the organizing of cars, and um, keeping it together to rent cars, rent hotels, organize getting her
Hmm.
stuff back, evading the police, of you know half doing interviews, and it's just all the things that she did that were very thought out. I mean, they weren't great. They made her look terrible, but it's things that someone who's insane, I don't think would be able to function in that capacity.
Mm. Mm-mm. No. How do you do all that? Yeah. We
I mean,
talked
the
about she drove
organizing
through some of
started
the states. Mm.
the organizing started right after everything happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't a couple days where she came down from her manic episode or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But you said we covered a lot of cases. What were you going to say?
No, no, it's okay. Go ahead.
No, yeah, that was all. That was all I have to say.
Yeah.
I mean, I think anyone that kills, that's funny that you say that. I hope I'm saying this right, Elise. Here, I'll put it on the screen because I agree. You do have to have because someone is cold blood is insane. I think you do have to have a mental illness. There has to be something there, but insane, not in control, is different, and there's a fine line, or not even a fine line, but there's some proof that they can give, some clinical proof, or at least the defense is trying that.
Yeah. And we talked about too if she really was insane, if she had a break, if she had a mental thing, and her the actual wounds on him, they do go to in my honest opinion, they do look like insanity. That his actual wounds, his actual death looks insane to me. However, after that, she got up, she cleaned the house, she fed the kids, she went on this journey across the country. She obfuscated, she hid all these things, she was bobbing and weaving with Al on the phone. She was buying phones, she was buying, renting cars, like you were saying, traveling, doing all this stuff that's required of just a human living their life.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and let's say you do have a break and then you come back. Well, what you do is you freak out because, oh my gosh, look what I did.
Right,
She doesn't
right.
have she doesn't have an oh my gosh, look what I did.
No, not
Yeah.
at all.
Mm-mm.
No, it. If she had this mental break or something happened, psychotic episode, then once you're out of it, it's like what you're now. You have feelings and you have emotions, and you're. This is my, for all intents purposes, her son. There would be a lot of feelings that would go with that, in my opinion. So
Yeah, they
just
haven't they haven't locked her up, right? Has she ever had a stay in a mental hospital or, psychiatric unit, anything like that? I haven't heard
no,
any.
I haven't heard anything. There was a lot of noise in the beginning where she was writing and she was getting
Right.
psych evaluations, and they were saying she's suitable to stand trial. She got a couple of them, three of them maybe, and then way more than anybody, I guess, that I've ever heard of. And then she was writing those letters to the court, and she was going to represent herself. Imagine if she represented
Yeah.
herself. This trial would have been
Oh,
99% more interesting.
yeah. That's what that letter was about. I forgot about that. She did write a letter to the judge saying that the prosecutor and the defense were colluding against her, and
Yeah.
that actually there what was it? There were conspiracies within the state of Colorado that were coming after her. I forgot about that. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. She was, it was every couple months there was something going on with Letitia after she got locked up. So there was like a lot of noise, and then these, once she got her attorneys and they needed time to get ready, they pushed the trial date out. They needed to get ready. It got quiet. I'm sure they were like, okay, sit down, shut up. We're going to do the insanity plea. But in
Yeah.
that meantime, they're not going to publish that she is in a mental hospital. I think, Cobra or whatever it
Yeah.
is, not Cobra.
She had said that she said they violated her Amanda rights.
Her Amanda rights.
Her
Those.
Amanda rights. Yep.
Somebody was talking about her grammar. I said she's smart. HIPAA. That's what I was thinking. Cash. HIPAA. For HIPAA laws, they're not going to say that she's in a mental hospital. But I said that she's smart. She's got a doctorate supposedly. And somebody was like, "Have you seen her writing and her grammar? She is not smart."
We should go back and look at that letter. I forgot about it.
Oh, we can bring that for tomorrow.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay, HIPAA. It's the only reason that makes myself hear all the stories. Somebody has to love them. This is what we do. Yep, exactly. Well, I am so glad that I've seen so many of you guys today. I love this trial. I love talking about it. I hope you guys do too. Oh, as you can tell, we're just switching up the format a little bit. We're just going to do recaps instead of the whole trial. It gets a little bit long, and for whatever reason, I cannot figure out all my computer problems, and so it's just better that we cut it down. This can go on for 5 hours if the topics allow for it, whatnot. But I just do want to do daily daily updates as the trial goes on, and just talk about it and get your guys' opinions, because you guys have some good ones. Good ones. And we'll have to see how this frozen, not frozen thing pans out. I want to give Harley the benefit of the doubt. I want to know that I in my heart, I want her to have a normal life. And if she did know, oh, that poor girl. And the way that she is on TikTok and looks like she's functioning well, that means she's suppressing her problems and her issues.
Yeah.
Maybe she's going to counseling and getting help. I hope so. But
Right.
I just hope that she didn't know and she was not involved, and she has a chance at, not saying that if she did have something to do with it that she can't go on and have a normal life, because again, I don't think that she was put into a situation where she's like, let me help you. That's her mom. She had nowhere else to go. She has nobody else.
No.
Her dad's not there. Al's not talking to her anymore. So that's it. She has her mom. So what she was drug into or what she actually participated in is what we'll have to find out. And so I'm just hoping that she didn't know anything. Poor girl.
And two, she has to, if she didn't know anything, she does now, kind of like the brother. She's like, damn, I was there for this. Damn, I was there for that.
Right.
Thing.
She has to
she
deal
was
with
in
that.
hotel room too,
Right.
So I hope she's doing okay.
Yeah, me too. As many people that talk bad about Harley, I honestly, I don't think that. And even I've given her a hard time for asking for money and then watching her TikToks and she's going on vacation. But, all in all, I want her to do okay. I want her to have a car.
She's young, right? She's 19.
She's 19.
I can't imagine if I had been 19 and had that mom and had this life and had this explosion of this trial, I'd be a mess. Oh, forget it. I would be a mess.
Right. I would be. I wouldn't be on social media. Are you kidding me? I can't even get on social media when I'm going through my
your
episodes.
Regular life now.
Yeah, my regular life now. Add that to it. Come on. Just roll me out of bed for food.
There you go.
Sentences. Why didn't I know? If she didn't know, she has a life sentence of why didn't I know? Oh, that's Trudy. I think
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. Just like the brother. The brother was sitting there this morning thinking, I was there for that. And then they've got to think, how did I not know? Mama of three, we're not sure. She is supposed to testify. She is under a subpoena for the prosecution. So Harley is supposed to testify. I think tomorrow. I'm voting for tomorrow. Or the next day. It's going to be in the morning. They might do it Friday morning, but I think they're going to do it in the morning. I think it's going to be tomorrow. I think they're just going to keep hitting in the morning with people that are just going to break down what she's saying. So.
Will Harley testify? Yes, she'll testify. Hopefully tomorrow.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yes.
I had like my little icon over it, so I didn't read it. And then after I read it, I'm like, wait a minute. She just answered that.
No, a girl named Tom. She has not been in the courtroom. You're not allowed to be in the courtroom when you're under subpoena. After you testify, and if you're released, then you can be in the courtroom, but not until then. And she does have a subpoena, so she has to wait till she testifies, then she can be in the courtroom. And yes, Donna, they said 8 weeks. So we'll see. She has a PhD. Yeah.
Oh.
That one gets me. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up. Let's get back together tomorrow at it'll be 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 5 p.m. PDT. What time is it for you in the east over there?
7. When we start at 5, it's 7 for me. It's perfect.
Okay. It's Dr. T. Stauch.
No, that's right. It's Dr. T. Stauch.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Have a great evening, and hopefully I will see you back tomorrow.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.